13 signs your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. As no one else can know how we perceive, we are the best experts on ourselves. Carl Jung. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift without saying a word? If so, you might be carrying an aura so powerful that others can't help but react to it. In today's video, we'll explore 13 profound signs that your energy field might be more intense and more transformative than you realize, through the lens of Carl Jung's deep psychological insights. These aren't just traits to observe. They're signs to embrace, refine, and use for your spiritual awakening. Do any of these signs reflect your experience? Comment below, and let's open a powerful discussion. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, so you never miss a moment of insight on your journey. 1. A powerful aura exposes others, not just inspires them. Your aura isn't just a gentle glow or some abstract force. It's the energetic signature of your soul. When it grows strong, it doesn't just shine, it disrupts. It unsettles the illusions that others cling to. You don't need to speak. Just your presence can stir something deep within people, something they may not even understand. It's not because you're intimidating or aloof. It's because your energy radiates truth, and truth has a way of making those who are still hiding from themselves feel exposed. Carl Jung taught that authenticity challenges the psyche because it holds up a mirror to the very parts we try to suppress. When you live from that raw place of inner truth, your aura becomes too powerful for pretense, denial, or avoidance. What truly unsettles others isn't your behavior, it's your alignment. Your energy vibrates with clarity, while theirs may still be entangled in confusion. Your aura doesn't just uplift, it reveals. It doesn't merely inspire, it awakens. An awakening isn't always gentle. For those still clinging to numbness or illusion, it can feel like an earthquake. That's why people may withdraw from you, gossip about you, or feel tense in your presence. They're not reacting to you personally. They're reacting to what your energy awakens in themselves. While Jung didn't speak of auras in spiritual terms, his teachings on the unconscious, the shadow, and individuation echo the same truth. We are energetic beings. As you shed the false layers and step fully into who you are, your energy field becomes magnetic. It speaks for you. It's not performance. It's not personality. It's the quiet gravity of someone who knows who they are. That's what people feel, the resonance of self-awareness, the vibration of someone who has stopped pretending and started embodying. People notice when you're no longer playing society's game, when you no longer chase approval, control, or validation. When you simply exist in your own energy, you become a mirror. That kind of presence creates polarity. Some people will be captivated by your light. Others will retreat into their shadows. Not everyone can stand beside someone who refuses to shrink. Your aura becomes a quiet revolution against the artificial, against the masks, against smallness. And this is not something to fear. It's something to honor. It means you're evolving into inner mastery. You're not just showing up as a person anymore. You are showing up as a presence. You're not here to impress. You're here to express the truth. You're not just learning about energy. You are the embodiment of it. And that embodiment doesn't explain itself. It moves through spaces, shifting the atmosphere, stretching what's possible without ever needing to try. When your aura reaches this level, you stop trying to persuade. You begin to attract. You stop trying to rescue others. You return to your own wholeness. And by doing that, you become a mirror, not always a comforting one, but a truthful one. Because some mirrors don't flatter, they reveal. If you're ready to step fully into your power and let your energy speak louder than your words, drop a comment below. I own my authentic energy. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a dose of deep spiritual wisdom. Two, the aura is your energetic signature, rooted in psychology. Carl Jung may not have used the term aura in the mystical sense, but through his groundbreaking exploration of the unconscious mind, he revealed a profound truth. Every human being radiates an invisible energy. This energy isn't just a concept, it's a living force shaped by your thoughts, emotions, memories, and your level of inner integration. When your conscious and unconscious selves are in harmony, you don't just appear confident, you become a presence. Calm, grounded, and real. People feel you before you say a word. That's your energetic signature. Your aura isn't about how you look or what you say. It's the frequency of your soul, always communicating without words. The more aligned you become, the stronger that vibration becomes. But here's the paradox. A strong aura doesn't always attract applause. Sometimes it makes others uncomfortable. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your energy awakens the unresolved parts of themselves. Your authenticity challenges their masks. Your stillness unsettles their chaos. Your self-worth exposes their doubts. This is where misinterpretations arise. A clear and powerful energy field disrupts unconscious patterns in others. Jung called this projection the unconscious act of assigning our own denied traits or fears onto someone else. So, when people are triggered by your presence, it's often because you reflect something they're avoiding within. You're not intimidating, you're illuminating. And that light can be blinding for those still living in shadow. You'll notice it in the little things: averted eyes, nervous tones, unprovoked criticism. In the workplace, you may seem intimidating without trying. In social circles, people may be drawn to you and yet oddly unsettled by your presence. This isn't ego. It's energetic contrast. You represent a level of clarity or wholeness they've yet to embody, and that contrast creates inner friction. What matters is how you carry it. When you realize that your energy radiates because you've done the deep work, faced your wounds, honored your truth, and chosen growth over performance, you stop apologizing for your presence. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You no longer soften your truth to fit spaces that can't hold your power. You let your alignment do the talking. A truly powerful aura doesn't chase validation. It doesn't force recognition. It simply exists. And when you move through life embodying that kind of still, steady energy, you become a mirror, a guidepost, a reminder to others that there is more depth, more healing, more possibility. You don't need to prove who you are. You are feeling. Are you ready to claim that energy within you? Comment below, I align my energy, if you're ready to live with intention, integrity, and inner power. 3. Individuation creates a magnetic, disturbing presence. When you integrate your shadow and step into wholeness, what Carl Jung referred to as individuation, you begin to emit a very different kind of energy. It's not loud or attention-seeking. It's calm, grounded, and unmistakably magnetic. You don't chase the spotlight. Your presence becomes it. You carry a quiet intensity that speaks of truth, depth, and alignment. But here's the paradox. That very alignment, that internal coherence, can be unsettling to others. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your wholeness reflects back their fragmentation. You act as a mirror, and when someone hasn't faced their own inner truth, they may feel exposed by your presence. Those still hiding behind masks, suppressing their pain, or shaping themselves to gain approval, may find your authenticity uncomfortable. Your clarity disrupts their carefully maintained confusion. Your truth shakes the illusions they've made a home in. You might see people withdraw, make odd comments, or behave awkwardly without understanding why. Don't mistake it for personal rejection. It's not you they're resisting. It's what you represent. The reminder that healing is possible. And healing threatens the comfort of unexamined wounds. This energetic tension shows up everywhere in meetings, where your silence carries more weight than chatter, in friendships that slowly fade without explanation, or in family settings, where your growth quietly challenges old roles and dynamics. What you're sensing isn't judgment, it's frequency mismatch. Your energy vibrates at a level they haven't tuned into yet. And when two frequencies don't align, discomfort follows. But remember this, you're not here to dilute your essence for peace. You're here to live in your truth, even if that truth causes friction. Your aura now reflects someone who has walked through inner darkness and emerged not bitter, but wise. That alone is disruptive. That alone is powerful. Most people have been taught to conceal their pain, not transmute it. So when they encounter someone who has turned suffering into strength, they don't know whether to be moved or intimidated. Often, they feel both. That's why your presence alone can spark transformation. You activate others not through your words, but through the energy you embody. Some will evolve because of your example. Others will drift away. Let them. Stay true to your path. Not everyone is prepared to face the storm you carry. But that storm, your truth, your clarity, your presence, is exactly what this world needs to be renewed. If you felt that shift within, where your authenticity no longer just inspires, but also unsettles, own it. Declare your inner alignment. Comment below. I am whole, and my energy speaks truth. 4. Powerful auras act as mirrors. When your aura is powerful, it doesn't merely light up a space, it exposes what others work hard to keep hidden. Without saying a word, your energy becomes a mirror, reflecting the suppressed emotions, hidden fears, and unresolved insecurities of those around you. This mirror effect can be unsettling. People often misinterpret it as judgment or arrogance, but it's not about you. It's their own pain and denial rising to the surface. Your presence doesn't force truth, it simply holds it. And for those who still live behind emotional masks, that truth can feel overwhelming. Energy doesn't lie. It speaks a language more ancient and honest than words. And when your frequency is grounded in authenticity, others begin to question the scripts they've been following. Not because you say anything, but because your stillness reveals their noise. Your alignment makes them aware of where they're misaligned. This has nothing to do with superiority. It's about energetic resonance. You don't shake people because you're loud or confrontational. You shake them because your calm, clear energy doesn't match the chaos they're used to. That's why some people are instantly drawn to you, magnetized by your presence, while others seem to distance themselves, go quiet, or even criticize you without cause. Their reaction isn't truly about you. It's about what their spirit senses when yours enters the room. Some are reminded of what they've been avoiding. Others are awakened by the possibility of who they could become. Either way, you activate something in them, and that is the quiet power of a radiant soul. You don't demand attention. You command it without effort, not through loudness or appearance, but through presence and purity. You don't chase validation because you've already done the inner work to validate yourself. You're no longer seeking permission to exist. You simply exist as you are. And that self-assured stillness holds a mirror to other people's dependence on external approval, on noise, on distraction. Your peace exposes their anxiety. Your wholeness reveals their fragmentation. This kind of aura isn't accidental. You didn't wake up with this energy by luck. It was earned through deep healing, honest reflection, and a willingness to face the darkness within. You've broken cycles, dismantled limiting beliefs, and risen from the ashes of your former self. While others may still be performing for the world, you are living from your center. That radiance isn't performance, it's presence. And it shines so authentically that it reveals what is false in others. That's why people either rise in your presence or retreat. There is nothing wrong with your energy. There's nothing you need to tone down. If your aura makes others uncomfortable, it is because their soul is being invited to awaken. You are not too much. You are just deeply real in a world addicted to illusion. So keep standing in your truth. Keep walking with quiet strength. You weren't created to dim your light for those still hiding in shadow. You are a living reminder that healing is possible, that depth is beautiful, and that the light, when it shines without apology, transforms everything it touches. If this message resonates with your spirit, don't forget to subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom and stay connected to a community that celebrates alignment, energy mastery, and soul-level truth. Together, we explore how your presence can reflect the unspoken, awaken the hidden, and inspire powerful transformation. Never forget, your aura is not a threat, it's a blessing. 5. You trigger psychological projection. People with powerful auras don't need to raise their voices to command attention because their very presence speaks volumes. It's not in what they say, but in how they show up. When your energy is intense, grounded, and vibrationally aligned, you don't just enter a space, you shift it. Your aura becomes a silent force that illuminates hidden truths, reveals emotional patterns, and reflects back everything that others are trying to avoid. That reflection isn't always welcome. In fact, for many, it's deeply unsettling. And that's why you often become the target of unconscious projections. You're not the source of their discomfort, envy, or emotional volatility. You're simply the mirror revealing what they're still unwilling to face within themselves. Carl Jung profoundly stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." The emotional energy people carry, be it shame, fear, jealousy, or insecurity, needs a trigger to emerge. Your presence, your clarity, your calm frequency often becomes that trigger. But instead of feeling inspired, many feel exposed. Not because you're doing anything harmful, but because your authenticity unmasks their illusions. Your light unintentionally shines into their shadow. This often plays out in everyday interactions. At work, you might be quietly focused, simply doing your part, and someone begins behaving passive-aggressively toward you. No explanation, no reason, just discomfort. But the truth is, your grounded energy challenges their emotional avoidance. While they've worn masks to blend in or survive, your very presence threatens the stability of that facade. You didn't say anything. You didn't judge. Yet you reminded them of their unresolved pain. And instead of pausing to reflect, they react defensively. In relationships, this pattern can cut even deeper. You may show up with love, emotional intelligence, and steady commitment, yet your partner starts projecting their fears onto you. They accuse you without cause. They interpret your independence as disconnection. They guilt you for simply honoring your truth. But the reality is, they are struggling to match the emotional clarity you embody. Rather than sit with their internal chaos, they redirect it toward your peace, hoping to make it your problem. You see, when you carry high vibration energy, you don't just inspire others, you activate them. And true activation often feels like disruption. People may label you as too intense, too sensitive, or too distant. But those words don't define you. They are coping mechanisms, ways others try to defend themselves against the awakening your presence brings. Transformation is rarely comfortable. But you didn't come here to be palatable. You came to be powerful. You're not here to shrink for the comfort of those still afraid of their own light. You're not responsible for soothing the insecurities others refuse to face. Your path is to stay aligned, to hold your vibration steady, no matter how others react. You are not the storm. You are the stillness that reveals the storm in them. And that's a sacred role. So the next time you walk into a room and people shift, or speak your truth and someone recoils, or love deeply only to be pushed away, remember this: it's not your fault, it's your frequency. A powerful aura pierces illusion. It stirs the subconscious. And while many won't understand you, those who are ready to awaken will never forget the impact you made. You are not a disruption. You are an awakening. 6. Your energy elicits intense reactions from strangers. When your energy field is truly strong, it doesn't beg for attention. It naturally commands a response. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about the silent force you carry within. You may have noticed that people either open their hearts to you without hesitation or retreat with discomfort the moment you enter the space. This isn't a coincidence. It's the silent, invisible language of vibration. Your frequency brushing up against theirs, awakening what has long been hidden beneath the surface. Your aura, a living expression of your emotional, spiritual, and energetic truth, speaks directly to the subconscious of others. It stirs memories, feelings, and unresolved wounds that they themselves may not even recognize. Most people move through life wearing masks, not out of malice, but as a defense shielding their true selves from a world that often feels unsafe. But when you show up in your authenticity, calm, grounded, whole, it unsettles that facade. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your very presence destabilizes what is false. Some people feel an immediate pull toward you, as if your energy gives them permission to be raw, vulnerable, and honest. Others react with coldness, judgment, or even irritation because your light reflects back to them what they've long suppressed, and they're not ready to see it. Carl Jung captured this truth perfectly when he said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." But your aura doesn't allow avoidance. It brings the soul forward, not through confrontation, but through resonance. That's why strangers may confide in you, revealing personal truths they've never told anyone else. And it's also why you've encountered random hostility or judgment from people you barely know. Your energy isn't just comforting, it's catalytic. And transformation, even when necessary, is rarely comfortable. You carry the rare and sacred weight of presence. Not everyone can hold it. Your frequency penetrates surface-level conversations and touches something far deeper, something ancient, spiritual, and real. For some, this touch is medicine. For others, it's a mirror they aren't yet ready to look into. But remember this: it's not your role to shrink or to silence your truth to ease someone else's discomfort. Your responsibility is to remain aligned, to be the light even when your light reveals shadows in the room. This is both the burden and the blessing of a powerful aura. You'll navigate the world awakening emotions, reactions, and memories that have little to do with what you say, and everything to do with what you are. The more whole you become, the more your energy will disrupt what is fractured in others. This isn't personal, it's deeply spiritual. The brighter your light, the more clearly it exposes what's been kept in the dark. That's the unspoken power of energetic presence. It heals, it provokes, it reveals, and above all, it transforms. Whether it comforts or confronts, your energy leaves no soul untouched. If you've ever noticed how people react intensely to your presence, how they either gravitate toward you or retreat without knowing why, trust that it's your aura doing the talking. Comment below. My energy awakens truth, if this message resonates with your journey. And if you found value in this reflection, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another moment of spiritual wisdom. 7. You're labeled too intense or misunderstood. People who live on the surface often find emotional depth confusing, even threatening. They may say, "You're too serious, too intense, or too much," when in truth, what they're reacting to is your energetic presence, your inner clarity, your spiritual resonance. You carry emotional and spiritual frequencies that confront the unconscious parts of others. You stir something they've spent years suppressing. You don't just speak from the mind, you speak from the soul, and that makes people feel naked, exposed, and unsure around you. This reaction isn't about your behavior, it's about your essence. Your aura, the energetic field surrounding you, holds your emotional truth. It is shaped by your self-awareness, your healing, your shadow work, and your courage to be real in a world obsessed with appearances. Most people haven't met themselves in silence, haven't sat with their grief, their rage, their longing. So when you walk into the room radiating authenticity, they feel it. And for many, it's too much. It triggers shame, fear, jealousy, or confusion they don't know how to name. So instead, they blame your intensity. You've been forged by fire spiritually, emotionally, energetically. You've gone through things that shattered you, and instead of hiding the cracks, you let the light pour through them. You carry truth in your voice and purpose in your eyes. And that makes you magnetic, but also polarizing. Because your presence invites people to either rise or retreat. Some will be drawn to your energy like a lifeline. Others will resent it because it reminds them of everything they've buried. Your depth disrupts the illusion of normal. In a world that rewards superficiality, distraction, and emotional detachment, your clarity is radical. You listen differently. You love differently. You ask questions that pierce the veil of denial. You see what people try to hide, and you don't play along with the game. And while some people will find healing in your presence, others will call you dramatic, overwhelming, or too deep, simply because you don't give them the option to stay asleep. There is a sacred discomfort you bring, and that is your gift. Your emotional energy isn't chaotic, it's alive. It vibrates with sincerity and purpose. You weren't made to be small. You weren't designed to be tolerated. You were born to activate truth in the people around you, even if that truth makes them flinch. Your aura challenges the masks others wear. It reflects what they're not ready to face. And that reflection can feel like pressure, when in reality, it's an invitation. You've never been too much. You've just been around too many people who settled for too little. They weren't prepared to witness someone who feels so deeply, loves so fiercely, and sees so clearly. But that doesn't mean you need to change. It means you need to remember who you are and stand firmly in that power. Not to prove anything, but to live freely, fully, and awake. If you've ever been called too intense or misunderstood for simply being deep and authentic, you're not alone. Comment, "I resonate with this," if you felt this way, or "Not my experience," if you see it differently. Your voice matters. Let's talk about it in the comments. 8. You energize or drain others based on their vibration. Some people feel energized in your presence, as if their spirits have been gently lifted just by being near you. Others, however, feel uncomfortable, irritated, or even drained, and it has nothing to do with what you say. It's your aura. Your energy field interacts directly with theirs, exposing emotional tension, repressed wounds, or unresolved thoughts. This energetic reaction isn't personal, it's vibrational. When someone is grounded and aligned, they receive your presence like healing sunlight. But when someone is fragmented or hiding behind defense mechanisms, your light becomes a mirror, and they may flinch at their own reflection. Carl Jung's concept of psychic interaction explains this invisible yet powerful exchange. He believed that people constantly project unconscious material onto others, and that deeper personalities like yours tend to attract stronger projections. Your aura doesn't just exist, it communicates. It speaks directly to the unspoken, stirring truth in others, even if they aren't ready to hear it. That's why people sometimes misunderstand you or retreat from your presence. You are not just a person to them, you are a trigger, a spotlight, a spiritual wake-up call. Think of those times when someone told you they felt peaceful around you, as if a weight had lifted, even though you barely spoke. That's not coincidence. It's a testament to your frequency. But also, think about when you walked into a room and immediately felt drained. Maybe your body tensed up, your mood shifted, or you sensed hostility without reason. That wasn't just intuition. It was your energetic boundaries being tested. You absorb what's around you more deeply than others, and your body responds before your mind even knows why. In the workplace, your calm confidence may be seen as a threat to those fueled by competition and control. They may act cold, passive-aggressive, or overly critical, not because you're wrong, but because your presence unsettles their masks. Your steadiness makes their inner chaos louder. Your honesty makes their avoidance harder. And your compassion highlights their disconnect. That's why, The same aura that uplifts one person might disturb another. You don't change, but their reaction does, based on their level of inner harmony. This dynamic is not something you need to fix. It's something you must understand. When your aura is strong and integrated, it becomes a tuning fork for truth. Those attuned to love, growth, and integrity will resonate with you. Those clinging to illusions, ego, and denial will resist you. Both are reflections, not judgments. Your role is not to dim your energy to be accepted. Your role is to discern, to choose wisely who gets access to your presence and who doesn't. When someone tells you that you're too much, it often means your authenticity demands a level of self-honesty they're not ready for. When someone says they feel calm just being near you, it's because their soul recognizes yours. You are the energetic mirror, the amplifier, the quiet force that reveals what's hidden. And that power is sacred. Protect it. 9. People confide in you unintentionally. People open up to you without warning. They share things they've kept hidden for years, their regrets, wounds, private stories, and suppressed emotions. You don't ask for it, yet they pour it out. This isn't a coincidence. Your aura creates a field of safety, a silent invitation that tells people, you're safe here. They feel seen in your presence, not judged. You don't just hear them, you feel them. And in a world where most people are starving for emotional safety, your energy becomes their refuge. Carl Jung once said, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. That's exactly what you radiate. People trust you because whether you speak it or not, your energy carries the wisdom of survival. You've walked through your own shadows, and that silent knowing draws others in. Your aura doesn't just glow, it mirrors truth. It tells people, it's okay to feel. It's okay to heal. And so, without understanding why, they tell you everything. But what they don't realize is that this gift can become a burden. You're left holding the weight of stories that aren't yours. People leave lighter, while you walk away heavier. It's subtle at first, a little fatigue, a little brain fog, the quiet pressure of being too emotionally full. Then one day, you realize you've become everyone's healer, yet no one knows when you're hurting. That's why energetic boundaries aren't just helpful, they're essential. Being kind doesn't mean being a container for other people's pain. Just because someone opens up doesn't mean you're meant to carry it. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is, I hear you, but I'm not in a space to take this on right now. You're not rejecting them. You're protecting yourself. You must also tend to your energetic hygiene. Cleanse your space. Cleanse your spirit. Whether that's through deep breathing, prayer, journaling, or simply being alone in silence, do whatever reconnects you to your own center. Your aura is your energetic signature, and just like your body, it needs rest, protection, and renewal. Being a space of emotional safety is sacred, but it must be balanced with self-respect. You are not here to absorb everyone's emotional chaos. You are here to guide, to reflect, and to stand in your power. You don't have to dim your light, but you do have to guard the flame. Have people ever opened up to you out of nowhere, as if your presence gave them permission to be real? If you've experienced this, share your story in the comments so others can relate and learn. If not, comment, I am open to understanding, to begin recognizing the quiet power your energy holds. 10. You shift the atmosphere instantly. Your aura enters the room before you do. It's not imagination, it's an energetic truth. You carry a frequency that either lifts the space or shakes it to the core, depending on the emotional state of those around you. This shift is immediate, undeniable, and deeply felt by both the conscious and unconscious mind. When your aura is powerful, it doesn't just complement a space, it alters it. That alteration might bring clarity and peace, or it might provoke discomfort and resistance. But either way, it never leaves things the same. You've likely experienced moments where people stared at you without knowing why, or suddenly changed their behavior once you walked in. That's not about your appearance. It's your energy field stirring their emotional waters. People who have unresolved chaos within them feel exposed around you because your presence highlights the imbalance they carry. You aren't trying to confront anyone. Your alignment simply reflects what they've been avoiding. Your stillness triggers their noise. Even animals and children respond to this energy. A dog might approach you with deep calm or run off with anxiety, sensing your frequency. Children, with their intuitive purity, often become fixated on you or strangely shy, not because of who you are on the surface, but because they feel the soul-level charge your aura emits. They sense truth in a world often cluttered with masks. In modern life, this power can be misunderstood. A woman named Maya once shared that in every workplace she entered, the atmosphere shifted. Colleagues would either open up emotionally within minutes or begin to distance themselves for no clear reason. She began to wonder if something was wrong with her. But in time, she realized the truth. Her energy was a mirror. It reflected the unresolved in others, not because she was trying to, but because she lived in deep inner alignment. That level of coherence made others feel their own fragmentation more clearly. Your aura is a field of influence. It communicates more loudly than words ever could. You don't have to try to be noticed, you are noticed. Not because you want attention, but because your energy commands it. And that command comes not from ego, but from authenticity. When you are whole within yourself, you create tension for those who are split between their truth and their persona. This is not your fault. It's the natural consequence of becoming someone who no longer hides. You shift the atmosphere not by doing, but by being. Your energy is a catalyst. Let it be. Don't dim it to fit into emotionally stagnant rooms. Don't shrink it to soothe discomfort. If your aura disturbs the room, maybe the room needed to be disturbed. If you're still tuned in, comment below, "I shift energy," to let us know you're feeling this truth. Your voice helps us grow this space of awareness and light. 11. You naturally repel the superficial. People who are deeply attached to surface-level validation often feel uneasy around you, not because you are unkind, but because your energy doesn't play by the same rules. You don't flatter, you don't perform, and you don't conform just to make others comfortable. Your authenticity becomes a silent confrontation. It holds up a mirror, one that reflects the hollowness of pretenses and the fragility of false identities. This is why those who live for appearances or hide behind polished masks either avoid you or try to reduce you by calling you intense, serious, or boring. They may not understand it consciously, but your presence makes them feel seen in a way they aren't ready for. You don't engage in shallow talk for the sake of fitting in, and you don't inflate your personality to gain approval. That alone disorients people who rely on external validation for their sense of self. They might gossip, overcompensate with charm, or constantly seek attention, but none of that moves you. Your stillness, your grounded nature, it unsettles them because it exposes how noisy and disconnected they truly feel inside. They may try to label your depth as a flaw, but it's not. It's a sign of coherence. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And you are living that truth, whether others can understand it or not. You don't repel people because of negativity. You repel superficiality because your vibration demands truth. You unconsciously remind people of what they've buried, their silence, their unresolved wounds, their forgotten desires for real connection. This is why, even in crowds, you often stand alone. Not because you are lonely, but because your spirit refuses to settle for anything less than real. You may feel isolated at times, but that isolation is sacred. It means your soul is choosing quality over quantity, depth over noise, truth over convenience. You're not here to entertain illusions. You're here to awaken energy. And that awakening will always trigger something in others. Admiration in the ready, resistance in the unready. Spiritual wisdom reminds us that your aura is not just a presence, it's a purifier. It moves through spaces and cleanses what is fake, what is performative, what is hollow. You don't have to speak to make a shift happen. Your being already speaks for you. And in a world drowning in distraction, your authenticity is a rare medicine. It's no wonder some people can't handle it. You're not too much. You're just living in alignment, and that is always disruptive to those who aren't. If you've ever been called too real, or felt isolated for simply being yourself, this message is for you. Comment below. I choose truth over appearances if you're ready to honor your authenticity and walk boldly in your light. Let's rise together, one soul, one truth at a time. 12. You're a magnet for toxic people without boundaries. Toxic or narcissistic people don't just stumble into your life by accident. They are often drawn in by the rare frequency your energy radiates. There is something magnetic about your integrated aura, something steady and whole that they subconsciously crave. These individuals, who haven't done the inner work to heal or evolve, are instinctively attracted to your light, not because they respect it, but because they want to consume it. They see in you what they are unwilling to cultivate within themselves: self-awareness, emotional strength, and spiritual harmony. Your aura acts like a beacon. It doesn't scream for attention, but its authenticity speaks volumes in a world full of facades. That's why people come to you with their problems, their emotional messes, their unresolved traumas. Without realizing it, you become their healer, their counselor, their emotional sponge. But the danger here is subtle. When your boundaries aren't firm, your compassion can quickly turn into self-sacrifice. You give, they take. You listen, they unload. You soothe, they depend. And somewhere in that cycle, your energy begins to fray at the edges. This dynamic is not about blame. It's about awareness. As Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. So instead of turning inward, toxic people reach outward to you. They want access to your energy without earning the wisdom that created it. They want the fruit, not the roots. And if you're not mindful, their chaos becomes your confusion. You start to wonder why your presence stirs up intensity in others, why people either cling to you or lash out without provocation. The answer lies in your frequency. Your aura is a mirror, and for many, what they see reflected is the truth they've long avoided. Your stability highlights their instability. Your peace confronts their inner storm. Your light exposes their shadows. And so, without boundaries, you become a magnet for the emotionally unhealed. They don't want to grow. They want to be carried. They don't want to rise. They want to feed. And while empathy is one of your greatest gifts, it must be paired with discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your sacred space. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. And love without limits is not love, it's depletion. In the real world, this shows up in small but relentless ways. You're the one people vent to, but rarely ask about. You're the friend who gives advice, but has no one to turn to. You're the employee who holds the emotional weight of the team, even if no one says it out loud. And when you begin to set boundaries, you notice who respects your space and who tries to push past it. That's the difference between connection and control. Your powerful aura is not a weakness. It's a responsibility. And just as a flame must be protected from the wind to keep burning, your energy must be guarded from those who only want its warmth, but not its source. True power lies not in being available to everyone, but in being fully present for yourself. To affirm your awareness and energetic boundaries, comment below, "I protect my peace." Your words might be the reminder someone else needs today to stand strong in their light. 13. Your aura is a sacred responsibility, not a trophy. A powerful aura is not a trophy to be polished and shown off. It is the visible evidence of deep inner work, emotional maturity, and spiritual integrity. It means you've walked through fire without losing your softness. You've learned the value of silence, the necessity of solitude, and the sacredness of saying no. Carl Jung emphasized that transformation doesn't come from imagining light, but from making the darkness conscious. Your aura reflects how much of that darkness you've faced, integrated, and transmuted into strength, presence, and stillness. Your energy doesn't just light up a room, it shifts it. People can feel your frequency before you speak. Some are drawn to it like a lighthouse in a storm. Others are unsettled, even repelled, because your very presence confronts what they've buried. You don't need to speak for your aura to speak for you. But this isn't about power or dominance. It's about clarity. And clarity is disruptive to confusion. The clearer you are within yourself, the more sharply you reflect the illusions around you. That's why you feel misunderstood. That's why strangers react strongly to your presence. You're not being judged, you're being felt. This sacred frequency you carry is not for everyone. It's for those ready to remember who they are. Your aura acts as a mirror one that reflects not only beauty, but also buried pain. Some people project their unhealed wounds onto you. They don't even know why, but being around you makes them feel exposed. This is not your fault. It's your function. You're not here to fix them. You're not here to rescue. You're here to be a living vibration that stirs souls awake. That is the role of a true light bearer, not to heal on command, but to embody wholeness so fully that healing becomes contagious. Because your aura is so potent, boundaries are not optional, they're sacred. You are the gatekeeper of your energy. Not everyone deserves access. Just like a temple is protected, so too must your energetic field be. That doesn't make you harsh, it makes you wise. Spiritual maturity means recognizing that being available to everyone can dilute your purpose. You weren't meant to be everywhere, for everyone, all the time. Your time, your space, your essence, they are offerings. And offerings are sacred because they're rare, intentional, and aligned. The more integrated you are, the more people will mistake you for being too much, too deep, too quiet, too intense. But that's not your burden to carry. The discomfort they feel is not your responsibility to resolve. It is a reflection of their own fragmentation. You didn't cause it, you revealed it. Let them call it whatever they need to. Your job is not to shrink into something safer. Your job is to remain in your truth. This is what it means to live with a powerful aura, not to be admired, but to be unshakable, not to impress, but to embody, not to shine above, but to awaken within. As we uncover the 13 signs of a powerful aura, let this be more than just insight. Let it be a mirror to your inner strength. Your presence here means you're not afraid of your light. Comment below. My aura speaks before I do, to affirm your power and inspire others on the same path. Let's continue this journey together. Your aura is not a flaw to hide, it's a force to embrace. As Carl Jung taught us, the energy you carry speaks even when you say nothing. If people are unsettled by your light, it's often because they haven't yet faced their own shadows. So don't dim who you are to make others comfortable. Stand firm in your presence, because your energy was never meant to fit in. It was meant to shift the room. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Tap the notification bell so you won't miss our next journey into deeper understanding and spiritual growth. And let us know in the comments, have you ever felt your energy shift a room? We'd love to hear your story.